Okay, Pastafarians, it's me, Schizophrenic H. We are doing the Ask a Pastafarian thing again today. We're going to be doing that for maybe a couple hours, maybe 93 hours. It's very hard to tell. So get your friends who are Addicts to come ask us questions. We'll be able to answer their questions in a patient and kind and good faith way. Also, get your merch. Also, dude, I was on the internet today to, like, do some things, and fucking, I went to the dorkshop.net, and, I cannot believe what I found. It was actually this other way. How did I find it? I went to, shit, where did I even see it? It was Twitter. I was just searching it, because I was gonna get my Google or some shit, my Gmail, and fucking...
Typed it into Google.
I typed it into the search bar, and then it just showed me all these things, and there was a Twitter.
Yep.
There was the Dork Shop, and I was like, what is this? And they're the dorkshop.net. And, like, they're like, they are a dork shop. Like, I have to confess that, I coined the term dork shop to be the place where you got your D&D stuff, right? So, because I was, right, in the 90s, in 1989, I went down and I bought a briefcase from the secondhand store, and I put all my D&D stuff in there, and then that's what I would take it over to my friend's house in, so that we'd play D&D. And then when he didn't really want to do that anymore, well, then I'd just play by myself. You know, nothing's better than D&D by yourself.
Right.
Right, in the 90s. And so, so then, just a long story long, I was like, what do I want to do with my real life now that I'm going to be a person and an adult person? And I was like, well, maybe I'll open one of them dork shops and I'll fucking, you know, sell nerd supplies to the local dorks. And, so I looked into that, pretty seriously, you know, seriously for me, and, you know, thought of names and everything like that. And so that's sort of where that's where I got the domains and stuff. And this is around 2000, 2001. And so, yeah, this the name comes from my efforts to maybe be a purveyor of nerd goods. You know, Magic the Gathering cards. Yeah, right. And
small business owner.
Yeah. And it was going to be the dork shop. It was going to be Dr.
That's right.
Bodkins, probably Dr. Bodkins. Was that right? I'll have to look it up. I think it was Dr. Bodkins' Dork Shop, and purveyors, you know, like kind of thing, right? But it was, yeah, Professor Bodkins. So
it was something that you could picture buying. Little
it was snake oil. Yeah, absolutely. And it was
what
his.
What did they call themselves?
It wasn't
titles.
A dork shop and apothecary, and you know, things like that. And so that's what the storefront was going to be, and the dork shop it was going to be a dork shop. That's why it was sort of like re-encoded, you know.
And it was going to have a sign called.
And it comes from the idea that in New Zealand, a couple of my companions called where the cops are, the police station. They called it the cop shop. And I was like, I fucking love that. And so I liked to add shop to everything, the cop shop. So, you know, it became the dork shop. And so, you know, the dork shop's been my YouTube since I tried to make nerd videos with my Oklahoma friends. And but that's where that name came from. I'm like, hey, since we're doing nerd videos, I've got this idea, like, process that I've been working on, the dork shop. You all can be part of the dork shop. And then we will be a group of people who talk about nerd shit. Oh, fun! It's evolved into something else. And so that's where that became. And then, fucking, it turns out that the dork shop was established in 2021 down there in Texas, and they'll get you your fucking, Warhammer figurines.
Any figurines from all these other sites. So
Man.
if you go into those individual sites, you could go to them.
So I got all that news today, and now I'm just processing those ideas in my brain, and I tell you, there's a lot of emotions going on. I'm really shocked about this. The thing that I think I'm the most shocked about is why didn't they approach me for the .com, dude? I'm a real cheap bitch, dude. If they were like, yo, give me the .com and the fucking... I have the .com and the Twitter, guys. Both of them. They had to get the .net and they had to get like the Dog Shop NFT or some shit like that.
On their Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, dude, like, come on. They could be the Dog Shop on Twitter, thedogshop.com.
On YouTube.
That's right. And all they gotta do is... on YouTube as well, that's the thing, yeah. All they gotta do is, you know, tell me the right number. I'd love to... Oh, maybe I don't have the dogshop.com. I do, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, shit. I think I fucked that one up.
You got the one through Colt.
Shit, I've been lying. My apologies. I don't have the .com. I do have the Twitter, though, guys. If you want it, let me know. Because that's where I send all my tweets and my twits. My tweeters. So, yeah, I don't think anybody has the .com, I guess. Good. No. So, no. If you are...
the YouTube handle and the Twitter handle.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Just, you gotta pass over that little paper with the right digits.
With the right number. It's gotta be like, like at a Denny's, and it's gotta be like flipped over on the table and be like, this is what our offer is.
And they slowly...
So that we don't have to translate it into modern dollars for a modern audience. So we could be like, $3,000, eh? Wow! And it's like, oh man, it's like 19 hamburgers in the year 2093 or whatever. I don't know how it's gonna be. But the answer is $3,000. I'll give you the Twitter for $3,000. Just write that on the paper and slide it over. All of a sudden I've got this lit joint in my hands. I don't know what to do about that. But yeah. I think it's time to team up with the Dork Shop. You know, we the Dork Shop, and they like a shop for dorks. We should go hang out with them. You know, see what... I'm sure we have a lot in common. Like we both came to the same sort of joke. Sort of self-effacing, right? Like the idea of like, yeah, we're dorks, but would you like to play Magic with us? We're pretty good at it. Let's play Magic and Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, like a stand-up comedian can make fun of being humans and still show the love for being humans. That's
I don't
what
think
the
so.
Shop feels like.
Oh, well, thank you. But I think stand-up comedians can't do that anymore. I think it's all broken. I think we got to come up with a new kind of stand-up comedy. We should go back to fart jokes, I think that's... we're going to have a...
We got to reset.
Yeah, sort of...
reset with farts.
Yeah, apolitical Steve Martin comedy is about to have a resurgence, I think. Although, yeah, maybe it wasn't. Maybe just like absurdist, I guess. Whatever he was doing in the late 70s. Yeah, so I'm gonna be chilling in this this thing over here, where it's like one-on-ones, and I'm gonna be like having people come and talk to me. So we'll just wait there. Some people might see it, come on and ask us some questions, and if they don't, you know, we'll try something else tomorrow to get more fucking Christians showing up. Because we really gotta do a lot of work before anybody really gives a shit. YouTube is like a slog. So we'll just be chilling here, building a Dyson sphere, waiting for the fucking Christians to come out of the woodworks and actually ask good faith questions. Because that shit's gonna take for fucking ever. And, you know, I'm up and around and about because I'm working here in the studio, like, doing the dishes and stuff. So, like, if it's just, like, nothing changes on the screen for 10 minutes, that's cool. I'm just listening to see if anybody pops in.
Wow.
Yeah, what are you smoking today, Joe?
It's a joint.
Oh, cool.
And it's called Durban Kush.
Whoa. Is that right? Some classic words right there. For some classic stoners. Some 40-year-old stoners, though I haven't been stoning for 40 years. Anyway, watch this.
Foundation, a terrain leveling tool, yet we cannot use it to change the planetary landforms at will. We can only level the surface to ground zero. If the foundation is used for high grounds, it will gain soil pile. On the contrary, if it is used on the ocean or low-lying areas, it must consume soil pile. When installing the foundation, either choose a kind of decoration or without decoration, even only surface leveling.
Hello there, Andres. How have you been? Welcome back to the stream. Hello, Mitch. Hope you're doing well. Your live streams being more frequent is a good thing. Yeah, more frequent than, like, months ago, but not more frequent when we were doing radio show, like, at the tippity top. We were doing it, like, 5 times a week for a few months. That was a lot of fun. It was much more structured then. I would have, like, notes and, like, things that I wanted to talk about. Right now, I'm trying to keep completely well away from structure, you know, just have none structure, so that we can be always interrupted by good faith conversations, which is what we're trying to do with this season of it. We did quite a few shows for a while that were a lot of fun. Most of them are invisible on YouTube because of how much music was involved, and so they're just really scraps, you know, if anything at this moment. But if you would like some of them on cassette tape, just send cassette tape to PO Box 31438, Aurora, Colorado 80041, and we'll put whatever episode you want on there. We'll just record it right on there. I've got all the tapes back there. We can get you that. Also, you know, give you $5 and we'll get you that the sort of cutout for it, you know, the thing, the tape, yeah, goes in the thing. Foldy art. It is a good thing, and I'm having a lot of time. If you have time, of course, I absolutely do. You know, been doing some stuff, and then it was like, yo, it's a lot less stuff for these couple weeks, and it's like, let's make it not that. Let's put some stuff in it. And that's this. I'm stuffing all this stuff right in these weeks. On a side note, where is everybody else to comment? Sort of. They are at other places, I think, is the answer to that. So we have to, I think I have to sort of demonstrate the desire and ability to have good faith conversations on Discord, which I really haven't done yet. I've sort of been listening to it a lot and being like, whoa, what the fuck. I did do a little bit from the garage a couple weeks ago, months ago, but it was in the vein of, what the fuck is this thing? And now it's like, I know what this is, let's have good faith conversations, these people can't do it, they're fucking lying. This whole thing is a show. It's not at all debate, it's wrestling. It's got nothing to do with what they're doing, it's how you feel about what they're saying. Everyone's fucking playing to the audience like heels and faces, it's just a fucking joke. And so I think that if we were to come at it with good faith tactics, I think that would be exposed quite a bit. Not to like tell you, not to like call my shots or anything like that, because I really do want to roll with it, see what happens, but, you know, from what I've been seeing about this, Discord religious conversations, it is not religious conversations about true religious shit, because nobody's really talking about shit to believe or not believe. This is all, like, teams of, like, my team's colors are the best colors, they make, yeah, it's just the dumbest fucking arguments, all about, round and about, in this whole entire sphere and conversation. So I think that's where they are. We have to just sort of like work our way towards getting some interested parties, and you know, we're gonna have to do that with a little bit of patience, I think, which, you know, is stupid, so dumb. You know, I've only been doing this like 6 years, so, you know, I just have to be patient, and pretty soon people will want to talk to me. But you know, it's a lot of it's because I'm doing it in an absolutely fake accent and personality, which sort of comes through. But I think that they're not understanding what I'm trying to say with that, which is, yeah, you too, you fucking fake ass bitch. So, you know, hopefully we'll get to say that to some faces, or at least some voices here on Discord. I am on this politics and religion server here in this one-on-one window. This is sort of a server that that Darth Dawkins guy got kicked off a couple months ago for being a fucking crybaby bitch, and so while he was on there, I could pop down here in the one-on-one and expect a conversation that was at least sort of engage, like the other party is engaged instead of just trying to waste time. Like they're looking for a way of scoring points, as it were. Like they have a win condition instead of just trolling, kind of thing. But I haven't been here in a while because of like I don't want to talk about politics, so I don't want to be somewhere where it's politics and religion. I want to just be somewhere where it's religion, and I don't really know of a health. Yeah. So this is my fallback. That's why I've chosen it today, because I've been here before. I've had conversations here before. So if anybody is like, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" I can explain to them what the fuck I think that I'm doing. So yeah. But if you do have any myth addicts again in your life, who you would like me to have a good, patient conversation with, send them my way. We'll get these. We'll be able to. I think we'll change some minds here pretty soon. And as far as like when are they gonna arrive? As late as they can. Like these fucking assholes. They're like, you gotta fucking earn your right at the table, kind of thing. Like forever and ever and ever. That you can't. They're never gonna give you a place at the table. You gotta steal it, as it were. So we're gonna poach some people's guests
like the
pretty
story
soon.
in Texas.
That's right, like stealing my fucking ideas.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna find some of the guests, some of like the worst guests on some of these conversation things, and like invite them to talk to us, because you gotta fight your way up the ranks. When you're a boxer, you gotta fight the dumbest. Mm-hmm. Not like that boxers being dumb, like the worstest boxers. You gotta start with Class Joe. So we're gonna have to look them up and see who wants to talk. Start the Discord debate rounds. It's going to be so fun, you guys. You have no idea how awesome these people are that I'm about to introduce you to. These are. All right. I'll hold off on that until we meet someone. I don't want to. I don't want to talk shit about them. They get to come in and just be who they are instead of who I tell you they are. So I'll withhold more of those comments. And until they show up, until they fucking bother to show up to have this fucking conversation they're so excited to have, we'll just wait here patiently, cleaning my house and playing video games.
Prove it. Prove it.
Wow, you really proved it.
Hello there. Oh, he's gone. Someone had arrived, but then left. Pretty slow on that uptake, but you know, it was the first one, so you know, gonna be learning the processes of doing it, of switching over. There's a lot of switches. It's like one here and one there. I missed this one over here. I guess I can keep it off now, though.
Now, you can try to view the whole planetary system, and even the entire cluster, by clicking the star map button in the lower left corner of the screen.
Yo, what's up?
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm well.
When being outside of building range, you can hold down the
What are
shift
you
key
doing in a
and use the
one-on-one
right
place,
mouse
though?
button to click on.
I'm waiting for someone to come and ask me a question about being a Pastafarian.
About being what?
Being a Pastafarian, like it says in my name. Ask a Pastafarian.
What's a Pastafarian?
I am a
That's my
Pastafarian.
question. Yes, so what is that?
You've not heard of Pastafarians?
No.
We are members of a community who express our beliefs with around the idea of a flying spaghetti monster. You've not heard of that argument?
You actually believe in that?
That's not what I said. Have you heard the argument of the flying spaghetti monster?
Yes.
Then you understand who Pastafarians are.
So you guys believe in a flying spaghetti?
That's not at all what I said. Did you listen to what I said?
You said to you, have you heard the argument for it?
Yeah. Have you heard the argument, the flying spaghetti monster? Have you heard that argument?
Yeah, that we, there's no evidence for God, and there's as much evidence for God as there's a flying spaghetti monster, right?
Right. So is that saying that everyone believes in a flying spaghetti monster? Is that entailed in that argument at all?
No.
So people who express an idea with that argument are Pastafarians. So
I'm looking this up right now. It says Church of the Flying Spaghetti.
you don't have to look it up. You've heard about the flying spaghetti monster, and you gave the argument quite well.
So you guys don't believe in it?
Some of us do. I mean, you don't have to, or you don't. Like, it's not compulsory.
So it's made it as a joke
What is a joke?
that there's a real flying spaghetti monster.
It's made to communicate an idea, and you understand the idea, don't you?
Yes.
So is that a joke?
Oh, I see what you mean. So alright, so it's a group that pretends to believe in this too.
I never said that you have to pretend to believe in it. Like, you are adding all of these things because you want us to be something that we're not. Trying to answer your question, you keep reading into what you want to read.
I thought it was a religion or something.
It is a religion, and I am a Pastafarian.
Okay, so it's solely people who make that argument. That's it.
People who want to be Pastafarians are Pastafarian. That's our baptismal process. So if I cannot exclude membership to people who believe in it and who don't. But it's not a requirement to be a Pastafarian.
So as long as you use the argument or understand that concept, you're a Pastafarian.
As long as you want to be. But people who understand the argument understand the Pastafarian argument.
So it's the argument.
Yes, the posit of the flying spaghetti monster and how he feels about teaching intelligent design in the Kansas City or the Kansas State schools. If you understand that argument, then you understand the Pastafarian argument.
Alright, and what's the point in the... Okay, I see what you mean now. Alright, that makes sense, yeah.
So, are you a Pastafarian?
No.
Why not?
So I'm a Christian. Oh, Jesus.
Why are you a Christian?
Because I love God.
I love God. So, Pastafarians love God, so why aren't you a Pastafarian who loves God?
You're worshipping the wrong God.
I'm not worshipping this God. You misunderstand the whole thing. You keep accusing me of things that I'm not claiming to do.
Because I'm misunderstanding.
Right, intentionally. You intentionally misunderstand.
No, unintentionally. You're assuming that I'm doing it intentionally.
You are, so all of these things that you posit without me saying it, stop doing that and you won't be intentionally doing it anymore, you see?
Alright, I'll try.
You can ask questions before you make assertions and then you won't be doing it. You're intentionally making assertions before you ask questions about it, right?
I'm really not doing this on purpose.
So the things that you're not saying on purpose, is that what you're saying?
I'm not doing it with the intention of trying to mislead you.
Doesn't matter what your intention is. If it does it, it is. If you're hurting somebody, then you're a person who harms people. It doesn't matter whether you intend to or not. Do you agree?
So what are you claiming I'm doing?
You are making bad arguments for my religion instead of asking me what the arguments are.
Yes.
Right, so when you said that it's a joke, or when you said that... What was the latest one, do you recall?
I asked if it was a joke. I asked if it was a joke.
You said, so it's like a joke religion, right?
No,
So
I said, is it a joke?
Right. It's not a joke. Where did you get the idea that it's a joke?
I agreed with that.
Right. And you said, oh, there you go. You said I was worshipping a god. When did I claim that I was worshipping the flying spaghetti monster?
I guess I did assume that, yeah.
You did assume that, and you asserted it, and you did it intentionally. And then you pretended you didn't. You were like, I didn't do any of that intentionally. Yeah, you chose the words and you said the words.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I asked you, why do you love God? And, you were giving an answer, and then you just besmirched me while you were giving that answer.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. That makes more sense.
I know, and it educated you. I can educate you on a lot of things that you don't realize about life. I can do that because I'm a Pastafarian, and I don't believe in false gods like you do.
Uh-huh. My God's powerful.
Oh, is he? Like, what do you mean by powerful?
Made you, me.
No, he did not. What do you mean when you say power?
He has control and authority over earth and heaven.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, he said it in the Bible.
Well, he was lying in the Bible. If I can prove that the Bible contains lies, will you stop believing in it?
Titus 1:2 says God does not lie.
So if I could prove that the Bible contains lies, will you stop believing in it?
If that were the case, it would mean that I won't trust the book, but I still trust in the resurrection.
So is that a no or a yes to my question?
That's a no.
Right, so obviously it doesn't matter, you see? So you're making an argument for a thing you don't even care about, right?
No, because there's evidence outside of the Bible to support there being a God.
What do you mean by a God?
A atheistic God.
So you're a theist?
I just, isn't that the normal stance for Christianity?
Well, Christianity is a theistic religion, but you are not necessarily a Christian. You're just a theist. You have evidence that there is a God.
And I believe in the God of the Bible.
So you're a theist, and you think it's probably Jesus. Is that what you're saying?
I believe it's Jesus. Yes.
So you're convinced that there is a God, and then you think it's Jesus.
Yes.
If I could convince you that Jesus did not meet the requirements of being a God, would you still be a theist?
Would you do that through the
Would you still be a theist? Would you still be a theist if I could prove you that Jesus isn't God?
Yeah, that would just mean I believe in the wrong God.
Right. So your evidence, you're saying your religion comes from your evidence in theism, and then you choose Christ, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't know.
So if I could prove to you that you can't know whether or not it is Christ, would you become agnostic about whether it's Christ and still be a theist?
Probably, yeah. But you're not going to show me that Jesus is not God.
So that's what I'm saying. You're presenting this backwards. You believe in Jesus, thus you're a theist, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, because I've been asking you questions this whole time, framing it that you're a theist and then you believe it's Jesus, but it's actually the other way, right?
I see what you mean, yeah.
Right, so you're misrepresenting your position. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that you're doing this because you're afraid to lose your religion and you don't want me to take it away from you, so you're defending it? You see how you're on your back foot there?
I don't really care about religion, I care about God.
You do care about religion, and it's because you don't want to have a good faith argument with me here today. Do you understand that I've demonstrated that already?
Yeah, but I also didn't really come to...
You did not come here to have a good faith argument with me. I've demonstrated that, and you've agreed to it.
Yeah,
cool. What have you come here for?
I just wanted a voice call, you know?
So loneliness? You just want a connection to another human?
No, I left another voice call to join this voice call.
Yeah, why?
I don't know, you just want someone to talk to.
To talk to? Because that's not what you've been doing here. You've been having a bad faith conversation with me this whole time.
Because I'm not debating, I'm having a conversation.
No. Not a bad faith debate, bad faith conversation. Like, you've been misrepresenting your views, and you've been asking me for true views, right?
To defend my views, yeah.
Say again?
I didn't come prepared to defend my views.
But you came to attack mine?
I didn't come to attack yours. Again, I came to
You did, though. Twice you attacked mine. I can point it out when you said that I worship the flying spaghetti monster. I don't worship the flying spaghetti monster.
I was assuming...
Whether it was an intentional or not doesn't mean it wasn't an attack. You can keep pretending that you didn't know what you were doing, but you absolutely did. You walked in here to mock my religion.
I did not.
Yes, you did. You saw who I was, and you came in here with a smirk on your face, and you mocked me. And yet, you don't want anything back, because you're all here to make fun of me and not have good faith conversations.
No,
is that an adult way to be? Are you an adult person, or is that a childish way to be?
Look.
No, you look. What are you fucking saying? Look to me. Are you an adult or a child? Are you an adult or a child? Do you have an answer to this question?
You don't deserve my time.
I think that worked. See if we can get somebody else in here in a second. That was a good conversation. Ha ha ha. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I did sort of like, accept it up to a certain point, and then I do confess I lost my patience, and was ready to give as well as I was taking. What are my thoughts on Freemasons? Dude, I don't get that shit at all. I have no idea what would a person... Well, I guess I do. I guess I get it, but like, holy shit, dude, it's 2000s, like, what in the hell are you doing? How the fuck are you gonna join a fucking Masons club? Holy shit. So, I think that over its lifespan and in all the places that it has been anywhere from benign to very malevolent. I think right now, saying that you're a Mason should pretty much, be you're an idiot. Like, only idiots should be Masons right now. Like, the fucking I'm really upset at how many presidents have been Masons and how long that lasted. But now that I think about it, it's the same thing for Eagle Scouts. Like, what the fuck, But dude, I'm a post-Mormon, and there's like this huge Mason crossover in the Mormon temple shit, and it is the dumbest fucking shit. It is so fucking stupid. Terry Pratchett talks a little bit about it in Going Postal. A little bit of the postman stuff, like all that ritualistic stuff, is very reminiscent of those groups. But I think the Flintstones showed it. Like, it's just a bunch of stupid fucking idiots avoiding their wives, right now. So whatever it was, whatever it started as, and all the things that it's been in America right now, it just is fucking. It's just sad to be like just a sort of. Why on earth would you join this dumbest, weakest, watered down cult? They don't do anything. Like, and all the spin-offs are more interesting, like the Shriners and the Kiwanis and all these Lions Club, right? Rotary Club, like all these things are like this old stupid idea taken a little bit more interesting. Like, anything you would want out of it, other than the idea of like, we are part of this fraternity that goes back. Yes, yeah, dude. Your testicles make you that. You don't have to fucking join a club, I mean, and your uterus or whatever, your eyeballs, your being a human. All these things connect you to humans in a way. You don't have to fucking have handshakes as well, It's so fucking moronic. It's just...
They love their ranking up.
That's right. Oh my god.
They work so hard on it.
I need a system to communicate to the people younger than me that they need to shut the fuck up around me. It's just so... It's just so the wishes it was what it is, and not at all is what it is, right? A club of fucking people who are changing the world. Nah, I don't think so. And especially if like that changes your decisions on anything, then you're just a fucking secret club of dipshits, like, holy shit. If you're like, I go with this guy because he's a Mason as well, like, wow, that's you guys, you're really ethical in the way you make your decisions, absolutely. That's not at all exactly terrible shit like nepotism and tribalism and all this shit, like, the things... The idea that, like, dude, I have to join the Masons, otherwise I won't be as successful in business as I want to be, it should be enough of a indictment on the business decision to make you want to reform it. Like, holy shit. Like, if it works, let's make it not work. And if it doesn't work, who the fuck wants to be a Mason? Also, I can sell you their handshakes for only $5 a handshake, though I can get you 5 of them for $20 if you do want some of those Masonic handshakes to get you into those secret meetings. You don't have to join the Masons, you just have to know their secrets. You just have to be like, yeah, I'm a Mason, and then fucking give them the little fucking tickle with your finger. And then they'll be like, this guy, he's got something going. So, dude, I can give you everything you get from the Masons without sitting around with fucking old people, setting up chairs, taking down chairs. Fucking how annoying must that be? Masons. People are putting that shit on their cars still. Like, stickers on their cars being like, hey, I'm a Mason. And like, oh, so you're a member of that secret society? Thanks for telling everyone. Like, it's just so the dumbest fucking have it both ways ineffectual boys club. Like, it's just so dumb. Like, what? If you want something out of it, if you think there's something there for you, dude, come on. You're not like that, right? Like, you expect more out of life. You're not that cynical to be like, all I gotta do is be Fred Flintstone and then the whole world's gonna go my way. Well, just join the mafia then. You know, if you're like, I'm going to use a little bit of immorality so that I am ahead of, just go fucking just do crimes, bro. Like, just, you know, if like nepotism's okay and there's a little bit of tribalism, especially, you know, if it's like, oh, it turns out that the Masons have been 98% white this entire time. Like, oh, okay, I get it. Oh, I understand why we want to be in this club. Fucking dipshits. And if you're just trying to fucking get away from your wife for a Saturday, if you're like giving a real important reason, I gotta go, I'm a member of the Masons, you know, lie to her. Lie to her and just go live your life on your free day. Tell her you're a Mason. And then just go out and be gay or whatever it is you're trying to do anyway. You know, if you're hiding from your wife to be a Mason, like, at least I don't have to listen to that old nag. You know, like Fred Flintstone did. Because that's what the Masons are. Jesus. Fuck those guys. So that's what I think about Masons. They only support each other. Joseph Smith, according to Masonic legend, were giving the distress signal to the people. Yeah, that was what I hear. I hear his last words were part of this Masonic signal, this idea of like, does no one have any sympathy for the widow's son, like who's trying to communicate to the people in the crowd whom he recognized through the Masonic meaning, because that's the whole point of like, yeah, dude, he used that Masonic and he fucking honed in right on the violence of that shit, and it killed him. Like, he was fucking around with this disgusting shit, and it was fatal. And I'm not saying it's fatal in all the time. I'm saying when dumbass cult leaders like Joseph Smith get a hold of that shit, it brings out the fatal shit in it. And the temple garments are from that, and he would cut the holes into them. Like, from what I understand, the first temple garments that the Mormons wore, there were cuts put in them during the services.
The ceremony.
Yeah, the ceremony where and so like it just really is fucking. It's really the most obscene shit, and the fucking hand things. Like literally, there's this fucking old man behind this curtain with these holes in his curtain, and his hand comes out, and he's like, "Give me the handshake," and it's just so dumb. And the most embarrassing thing. Like, Mormons talk about the temple stuff, and they say that it's not secret, it's sacred, and it's not sacred, it's super cringe. Like, that's why they don't want to talk about it, is they are embarrassed. Like, that shit is not sacred at all. Trying to get help, oh Lord, my God, is then a hope for the widow's son. That's right. The other Masons to hear it's supposed to flock to help assistance. That's right. They originally did not allow African Americans in their fraternity, right? And I bet it took them longer than anybody to fucking come around to it. Thus, the Prince Hall Freemason Lodge was born. Oh, cool. But like, you know, I mean, that still is like, as far as like how embarrassed that white people should be to not have music other than the music they stole from their slaves. I also think it sort of goes the other way of like, it sort of is embarrassing when instead of like, oh, so you have a white club? Well, we're going to use that idea and do it. It kind of like the way that the Girl Scouts did the Girl Scouts, and now it's just like, no, bitch, we're in the Scouts. And it's like, yeah, that's right. So now the Girl Scouts have to change the name too. So it's going to be the Scouts and the Scouts is how that's going to go. The oaths you take and the consequences that are induced toward the person who goes too far to break it are rather disgustingly repugnant. And it might be that in a lot of cases, many of the groups were like, yeah, that's how we know that this is just sort of satire, or not satire, but like metaphorical, like, we're not gonna fucking kill you. If you divulge these secrets, fuck. You know, these secrets are pretty fucking divulged, dude. But like, No, like that is directly the reason that the Mormon culture has these fucking blood oaths, is they were in their temple and they were stolen from this Mason thing, and that fucking Mormon murders were still going on in the 80s, probably still now. I just haven't looked into it a lot. Well, the fucking what's his nuts, Warren Jeffs has been going on for a while, and that shit was obscene. I don't know if anybody got murdered about that, but all these fundamentalist Mormon offshoots that just take these fucking blood oaths super seriously and kill their family because it's better to. Yeah, Brigham Young said some fucking filthy shit about that shit. No, I hate it, and it's embarrassing, and I feel like, as a Mormon, we, as a community, should be able to confess how disgusting it is, and say, I am so glad that our modern leaders have been able to help us decipher the old-timey magical thinking with the actual divine way of discovering truth and morality, and instead they're just fucking doing this whole nightmare where it's like, who are you to question Joseph Smith? And like, I'm a living modern person needs some fucking guidance from a prophet, not some guy that just wants to fuck 14-year-olds. I want some grown up advice here. And they're like, well, go to the temple. And I feel bad about, there's lots of Mormons who go to the temple. Like, those buildings are, well, some of them are busy. I think the newer ones are getting less and less busy because, they're doing this sort of, Scientology thing of building too much and being like, look at all these buildings that we have, but like they're just supplying it so that it looks like the demand is there and the demand isn't there. So like, it used to be the other way, that they had to get temples to these people, and like, so that's why there was one in LA, is because all those people were like, give us a fucking temple. But since that 100 years, now it's like, we have to keep building them. Every time we have a conference where we don't announce temples, everyone's like, oh, no new temples. And we're like, some of these temples are busy. There's lots of Mormons who go in there and spend all their time doing this shit. Just hours and hours, the same movie over and over and over. Dude, I only watch fucking... I try to limit my movie intake to once a year. And that's things like Groundhog Day, dude. I watch that on its holiday, and then, other times, I don't, just watch the same fucking movie over and over. Jesus Christ.
Stuck in your own loop.
Yeah, man. Fucking nightmare. I've been thinking about going to my local Scottish Rite temple just to ask for an historical tour. My own state of Texas has Senator Ted Cruz, and he thinks he's a Mason, and I think he's a Mason. I could be wrong. I believe that you should, as a politician, make very clear where your allegiance lies. And I think secretly being a Mason does exactly the opposite of that. Like, exactly. And there's skull and bones like shit. And it's like, well, when we were in college, we joined this cult, and now it owns part of our soul. And I'm like, well then, no president for you. Sorry, bro. Seems like you made some mistakes that you cannot fix in your lifetime because of how you joined the secret society and swore blood oaths. So, yeah. Renounce your standing with these people quite vocally and say shit like, I am not a Mason, and trust me, I don't listen to anything they say. If they tell me what to do, I'd be like, well, I don't care. Instead of like, I still attend the meetings, and when I'm shaking hands with people, sometimes it's that. Sometimes I'm, as a politician, doing the secret fucking handshakes. It blows my mind. But I definitely like giving the handshakes. Like, I really feel like it's a very aggressive fuck you to people. It was done to me once on the mission. Like, I was shaking somebody's hand, and he fucking slipped me one of those things just to fuck with my head, and it did, man. And so I fucking love it as a move of like being like, what are you doing to my hand? And they're like, like, I don't know what I'm saying. What the fuck are we saying? What does this mean to you? Oh, it's disgusting, though. It really is disgusting, these, in the Mormon church, and the Mormon church of my parents, like, they cut it out before I got to the temple. There were these 3 moves, physical moves that you would do that demonstrated the repercussions of divulging these ideas. And so you would strake your fingers across your belly, and your neck, and your eyes.
And all of them, or 3 of them, or just
like I didn't experience it, and so I just have it reported to me, so I never have had the person say it correctly. But it involves a raking motion across your belly, a raking motion across your neck, and another one across your eyes.
Damn.
And my mother and my father would go to this building and do it. And then they'd come home and they'd be like, we're good parents for like a whole year. And then go back to their weird fucking cult building and then not even notice that they were not good parents because they were totally in a weird fucking cult. And you're not a good parent if you're in a cult. Like, that's the point, is if you brought your kid into Scientology and was like, trust me, they'll solve our problems, you were being irresponsible. You were letting somebody else do the parenting for you. We can see that argument, right? If you're like, these guys will help us be moral, I don't have to do it as your parent, we'll get it all from the Scientologists. You fucking blew it! You blew it! You were supposed to protect your kid. No, as a parent. Not you, as coughing. You think I'm talking about you?
Yeah.
Dude,
always.
Joe, not everything is about you, alright? Some of these things are about me and how my parents abused me. So can we get back on that, please?
Yeah.
So, if you, as a parent, said, our moral compass shall be L. Ron Hubbard, you fucked up! You're a fuck up. You're a bad parent if you've done that. So, you know, it's just how it is. All these Mormons are fuck ups, dude. Bad parents. And they just really want that not to be true, and they'll fucking die. Just so that they never have to confess that they got their family involved in a real fucking creepy sex cult. With fucking scrapes across their eyes! They slit their throat. They're like, yeah, you fuckers will fucking cut my throat if I ever tell anyone my secret name, which is Reuben, by the way. Mine's Reuben, and if you went to the temple on the same day as me, so's yours. My ghost inside of me is Reuben. I deserve to be murdered now by Mormons, because I told you. Okay? Do you understand? My parents, in fact, ought to do it, because I'm their responsibility. And this is some Old Testament shit. That shit's obscene. So obscene. And the Mormons are going to tell you the obscene thing was when I said Reuben. Mm-hmm. They're going to get it all backwards. That I'm obscene because I said Reuben. That's insane to me. They'll drag their fingers across their neck and say, I deserve death if I do any of this. My throat slit by y'all. Not God just stopping my heart while I sleep. None of that. Fucking violence against my body.
Again, through humans instead of through God.
Yeah. And, yeah. Sorry to, yell a lot. Definitely agree. Love your personality, Mitch. Oh, well, then I guess I'm not sorry for yelling. Enter the Apprentice has the slitting motion across the neck. Yeah, the fellow craft has it through the chest and the Master Mason through the stomach. Right, so he just ripped the whole thing off. And he got to do it because he totally cheated his way into the Masons, too, because he had a cult. Right? And so he indoctrinated someone into his cult, and then he just had them give him all the secrets. And so he knew everything by the time he went in to do it, and he just wanted to so bad. He had such fucking Mason envy, and everyone saw through his shit because he was a fuck-up his whole life. He was a criminal, and he couldn't be a Mason until he was a cult leader, and then he got some Masons, and then he made his own Mason thing! And then just stole all their shit, and then taught it to my parents. Real obscene.
Yep.
Here is Joe, by the way.
My parents too. Hello.
Yeah, Andra says, hello, madam, how are you? Sorry I didn't say hi earlier. Yeah.
I'm good, thank you. Good. Listening to Skits' rants.
Yeah, you're screaming about the Mormons. Again!
Oh no, I feel all of it. My family's got Mormon generations too.
Yeah, tons of Mormons all over the place.
Yep, tons of harm done. Generations.
Yes, and again, still done right now. What are the Mormons doing wrong now, though, Mitch? They hate the gay kids. So, just to put that out there, the Mormons are still incredibly immoral.
Yeah.
Even though they took the Masonic slashing motions out of the temples.
Yeah.
They did some changes to the temples again recently, and I just fucking love the comments that the people who made the changes made about them, because they're like, these are not changes. It's great. It's just so awesome. They're just like, look, from time to time we change things. Okay. Like, well, doesn't that mean it wasn't perfect to begin with? And they're like, oh my god! I knew you were going to try to bring this up. It's terrible. Do you ever talk to the Freemason guy that you spoke to in that video? The one where he shook my hand? No, this was actually on when I was a Mormon. This is back when I was knocking on doors for the Mormons back in the 1900s. I was on a mission. I saw that video in which you spoke to that Freemason. You both were just screaming at each other. It was hysterical. Oh shit! I gotta rewatch that then. I don't recall the one that we're talking about. Being a Freemason. Did we shake hands at all? I could have shown him I was one. I really do love screaming at people because of how, like, they get so offended by it, but they're screaming. Like, it just is really super fun to me because of, I just think we can scream at each other. We can scream. It's okay if that's where the conversation is. And it ought to be if it's something important. If we're talking about something important, then we're going to be, like, super emotional about it. Like, no, this is about the safety of my children! Right? Like, that's totally appropriate. And so then I just want to demonstrate how every single fucking American is so uncomfortable with it. As if screaming is exactly violence, and it absolutely is not. Like, what a fucking bunch of people to have the First Amendment, have been here their whole lives, to be, like, so surprised by what is covered by it, and fucking what healthy communication is. Because, you want to scream, and if you were to scream,
you would feel justified in it, and appropriate time.
Right, but what would you be screaming? What would it be? And why aren't you screaming about that right now? What's stopping you? Like, aren't you pissed about it? And if you're like, no, I've done the appropriate thing and I've become not pissed about it. And it's right, because they fixed it? Because they fixed that problem?
No.
Or because you're not allowed to be pissed about it?
That one.
So what the fuck, right? Like, that is,
I tucked it down, I'm being polite.
Right, we are well into unhealthy shit there, right? Mm-hmm. So here I am, dressed crazy, out in the street. You never have to walk away from me. I'm not making any violent moves towards anyone. I'm just yelling and being like, you're so fucking wrong! Just like you're doing to me when you say that Jesus is the Christ, or when you say that
you're bound for hell.
Yeah, or any of this stupid shit. Like, you're saying exactly the same thing. So I just really love yelling at strangers in the street, and I also love that they're so uncomfortable about it. These crybaby bitches, man. Like, this is where you're supposed to do it.
Yeah,
I'm not coming into your house where your family is.
People on Discord are, like, as soon as it goes up in volume, they're like, I'm out of here, or...
Oh yeah, this
you've
fucking...
proven that you've lost, Mitch. And
that's right.
And they leave. Like,
right, but my question to the guy was, given all of this behavior right here, it shows me that you want to be a child. So are we going to be children here, or are we going to grow up? And he said, you got me, I'm a child, and so now I'm running away like a child. So, you know, why not get there? Because he was wasting my time. I'm not worth his time? Dude, get the fuck out of here. You're making fun of me and pretending you're not. You're mocking me because you think I'm doing that to you, and I'm not. I'm answering your questions in good faith. You're pretending I'm not. Go suck your god's dick.
On your knees.
That's right. You didn't convert anyone here today, and you're not coming in with another fucking cock slut for your god to be like, Mitch is gonna suck your dick too. Fucking get out of here. The Black Hebrew Israelite guy. Yeah. So these guys come down a lot, and I'm really mixed feelings about these guys because I really would like to have a progressing conversation with these guys. Like, I really want the next thing we say to be the next thing, and the next thing after that to be something after that. But every time I come in, it's just like this really first base stuff again. And so it's very hard to establish anything with them. And I think it's because there's a ton of them, but I also think it's because of one of the ways that they do their stuff. They're just so fucking repetitive. They're always saying the same thing over and over. They're like, yeah, that's fucking Esau, see? And they just do that, like, sort of one move over and over again. So they're very, very...
And they all hop in on it. So it's like a multiple conversation.
Right, it's very... The yes and in the group is fucking...
around.
Is very... Their move, their one and only move, is very yes and so, like, by the time I'm talking to them again, they're just fucking on this new thing. Like, literally this last time that I saw them preaching online, because they post it, they were absolutely anti-vax. Like, they went for like a full-on hour about the vax, and it really is sort of sad and depressing.
And then Bitcoin.
Yes. Bitcoin, because they get it, you know. Their God definitely explains to them what's up with Bitcoin, so they're gonna let you know. And if they're wrong about Bitcoin, they're wrong about their God. So, you know, listen to them and see how wrong they are about anything, because any flaw is exactly how wrong they are about the one and true creator of all reality. So I have yelled at them, but I don't need to go get out and yell at them like I get to with John Shuck. Because I think with John Shuck, it's sort of like a different show every time, different way of coming at it. There was that one time where he ignored us for an hour, and I think that was the only really time he did that one. So, you know, we're getting new moves every time. This last time I caught him while he was making the video. I was so fucking happy to be doing his video. I got it. It was rad. I got there before he set up. And then he just did, man. He just recorded it. He didn't wait till I went. He didn't, like, stay late. He just had his schedule and just started filming. And I'm like, well, I'm standing right here and I'm talking, John. So what are you going to do about that? And he's like, nothing. Just take it, I guess. You can stop filming, John. You can pause the video. You can edit some of this out. Nope. He's got one true way of doing it. Oh, man, that was so much fun.
It's very scripted.
Oh, John Shark. And during the time, he was all like, do you ever come and watch my videos? Fuck you, John. You don't watch my videos. Oh, man. Here is, Three more Hoba Vum today. So, let's everybody try to vum a little bit today. That is the word for today. The other day it was like red rum, or something like that. Christians always try to act like they have doctrine that is so unique they might not know about other religions. Yeah. Christians being like, Christians are always looking to solve the problem of why you don't believe what they believe in a backwards way. And they're always like, oh, I get it. So you think this, and no, that's totally wrong. And they're like, here, let me explain a thing to you. And I was like, no, I've heard that before. The thing that I'm saying is like, it's a contradiction to say three persons in one God. And they're like, no, let me explain it. It's kind of like a pie. Like, shut the fuck up. No, it's not like a pie. Like, no, there's three pieces of pie, one pie. Why the fuck are you saying persons when what you mean is not person? What does person mean to you? And they're like, it means whatever it needs to mean so that I'm not wrong about this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, them coming out and being like, man, every the problem of religion is that every person is so enamored with what they figured out about reality. Like, your religion is just so fucking magical to you, which is great. It should be. That's true religion, is a magical religion, like a dead religion of being like, oh, I don't even care anymore. What is this? I don't care. Like, that's the not fun one. The fun one is the embarrassing one where it's like, trust me, I get it. Like, I understand. Like, these metaphors. And so when Jesus says blah, what he means is this. And, like, it's bad when it's something you've heard, and it's, like, worse when it's something new, because it's so garbage. It's like, where did you get this? And it's like, because I had a dream about it. And it's like, oh my god, and this is what you believe about this verse? And it's like, yeah. It's just so, it's just so personal. Oh, here's somebody. Hello! I'm doing goodly, how are you? Would you like to ask a Pastafarian a question?
Yeah, it's a Pastafarian.
What is a Pastafarian? You've not heard of Pastafarians?
No.
Have you heard of the flying spaghetti monster?
No.
You've not heard that argument at all?
No.
Well, the argument is that you're wrong about what created reality, and it's just as nonsensical to say that flying spaghetti monster created reality. When you say that you know anything about the creator, you're talking about a thing you literally can't know about. So when you say it's a he or a she, or that it said something, that's as nonsensical as saying it's a flying ball of spaghetti.
So you're saying this creator doesn't have the ability to send revelation?
Sorry, let me turn this up. Say again. Yeah, you were restating. You were summarizing me.
Yeah. So you're saying this creator isn't able to send us messages?
I'm saying you're not able. What I'm saying is you're not able to understand what the creator is. You are limited. You are finite, and the creator is infinite. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree that we can't understand.
Yeah, your finite understanding of the infinite is ridiculous.
I agree that we don't understand, or we can't imagine God. Yeah.
We cannot understand it at all. We're incapable of it. It is. You must be agnostic about what created this reality. And every time you think you know something about it, you're a fool.
Not really.
No, really. I can prove it to you. Do you have the time? But you asked me what a Pastafarian is, and that's what it is. The person making that point. I can prove it to you and make you a Pastafarian if you are willing to engage in good faith debate with me or conversation. Would you like to have a good faith conversation with me here today?
As long as it's not long. Yeah.
No, it's going to be very long. We're going to talk about everything wrong with your belief system, and I'm going to give you good arguments for giving that shit up. And your belief system is huge. You've been developing it over your life. It's not going to be done today. It's going to happen over the next few months here. Do you want truth, or do you want what you have?
What I have is truth. So.
No. If you had to pick between truth and what you have, what would you pick?
What I have. Silly question.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm asking you. If the decision was between truth and what you have, what would you pick? And you are trying to avoid it because you know your answer's wrong.
Okay, let's say the truth.
Good. So there you go. That's a good faith conversation. So we'll talk about truth and how to get there, and we'll talk about. So first of all, I've made a few premises so far. Do you have any premises that you reject that you would like me to prove to you?
I don't know what you believe.
Out of all the premises that I've already put out there, for example, I've said that the finite cannot understand the infinite. Do you understand that?
What's a finite?
You don't know what finite means?
No.
Finite means like an amount, like a number, like 7. Infinite means more than numbers work. Okay? Finite is how many molecules there are in the universe. That's a finite amount, though immense. And then there's a huge gap between that and infinite, which is uncountable.
Sure.
So you know what finite and infinite is.
Yeah.
Did I teach you about those concepts here today?
Yeah.
I did? You hadn't heard about those concepts before?
No.
And yet you are a believer in a God, yeah?
Yeah.
In all your study of theology, you haven't come up against this idea of finite and infinite?
I just don't know what the word means.
Do you understand the concepts, though?
Yeah.
What did you understand the concepts? What were the words you used for those concepts before I posited finite and infinite?
What I would use is us being God being most powerful, and we being weak and
Right, and how powerful is God?
most powerful.
Like all powerful. Like is he the most powerful? Like there's nothing powerful than him? Or there is no power that he does not have?
All powerful.
That's correct. So you understand that concept, right? And that's infinite. Okay, that's... So are you I take it you're a Muslim?
Yes, just a Sunni Muslim.
Okay, what convinced you that the Quran is trustworthy?
What convinces me that the Quran...
No. Did you believe in the Quran your whole life?
Yeah.
Really? How old were you when you began to believe in the Quran?
All my life.
What was the argument that convinced you that it was true? Not what argument do you now believe? I'm saying, what was the first thing that convinced you?
I'm saying I was a believer.
So your parents told you it was true and you just believed them?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Islam.
So you believed that the Quran was true because your parents told you that it was true?
Yeah, then after I did my research when I was like 15.
Why? Why did you do your research? Were your parents not trustworthy?
No, I just found out that there's more opinions on what surrounding my belief.
So before you were 15, did you know that the Quran was true, or did you just believe it was true?
I knew that.
Well, how can you say you knew it when the belief was unjustified? You just believed it because your parents said it. You said you didn't do your own research until you were 15. How can you say you know it was true when you only believed it was true?
Me believing it was true meant that I knew it was true.
No, it didn't. It meant that you didn't have knowledge of it. You just believed it because your parents told you it was true. There was no evidence in your life other than that it was true. Do you agree?
Depends what you mean by evidence.
Do you know what the Book of Mormon is?
Huh?
Do you know what the Book of Mormon is?
Heard of it, yeah.
You've heard of it? There are parents who tell their children that it's true. Do those children know it's true?
Do these children know it's true? Depends how old they are.
They're 8. They're 8 years old. They're not doing their own research yet, and they're just believing what their parents saying when they say it's true. Do those kids know that the Book of Mormon is true?
I guess they're gonna make their parents happy.
They only believe it's true is the point that I'm trying to make. There's a difference between knowledge and belief. Do you agree?
Knowledge and belief. Yeah, you can believe something without having knowledge about it, yeah.
And you can believe something that's not true, even though you believe it's true, right?
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Like with you and the Quran before you did your own research, right?
Yeah, let's say, yeah.
Let's do say, and let's continue to say that people that don't know something can only merely profess that they believe it. Otherwise, they're being intellectually dishonest. Okay?
Alright.
Are there some things that you cannot know?
Of course.
How can you tell if something is a thing that you cannot know?
How can I tell you something?
If something is a thing that you cannot know, how can you determine whether a thing is knowable or not?
By what do you determine if something... Repeat the question?
Can we tell if a thing is knowable or unknowable? Can we determine the difference between whether a piece of information is knowable or unknowable?
We can, yeah.
How?
We can determine if it's noble or not if we, if it makes sense to us.
What if we just believe it and it's wrong? Like, is it noble how many humans are alive right now? Is it noble to you and me?
Around 7.5.
No, not around. The exact number. The exact number right now alive. Is that noble?
No, I don't know.
You don't know if that number's noble?
I don't know it myself.
I don't know it either. And I profess to you that it's unknowable. You cannot know the number.
Sure.
Right. That's you and God. Okay? Do you understand Descartes? Have you looked into Descartes?
Look at what?
Do you know who Descartes is?
No.
He's a guy who said, how do we know we're not a brain in a jar? Are you a brain in a jar?
I don't think I am.
How do you know you're not?
Because I don't see a jar around me.
No, you wouldn't see it because you'd be giving, they'd be giving fake information to you through your spinal column. They'd be simulating a world around you, but your brain would be in a jar. Have you seen The Matrix?
No.
What if you're in a computer simulation right now? Can you prove you're not?
I don't feel like I'm in a brain in a jar.
But the brain in a jar would not feel like it was a brain in a jar. Do you understand that?
Why wouldn't it?
Because it would be being caused to not feel that way by the thing that caused it to be in a jar. Descartes said that what if there was a... Say again?
Not necessarily.
No, in this... The reason. You asked the reason, I gave you the reason that it would be happening to you. That the evil genius who put you in that jar caused it so that you cannot tell the difference between that and a reality.
Okay.
So how can you tell the difference between the two states?
If we're not able to, then we're not going to be able to.
Right, and so we must confess we must be agnostic about which of those two universes we live in, correct?
If our possibility of knowing is impossible, then yeah.
Then we must confess we don't know.
Sure.
So we don't know we're not a brain in a jar. We don't know.
If these jinns made it impossible for us, then yeah.
That's right. Do you confess that you don't know that that's not happening to you?
I don't think so, no.
You don't confess? You think it's not happening to you, but you don't know, right?
No.
So you believe it's not happening to you?
Well, the brain in the jar?
Yes, you believe you're not a brain in a jar.
Yeah.
And you don't know it.
I know that I'm not a brain in a jar.
No, you believe you're not.
Sure.
Right, because you cannot tell the difference between the state that you are and you aren't. And you confessed you must be agnostic about that position. And then you said you know. You are being intellectually dishonest, do you understand?
I'm being... Why?
Because you confessed that you cannot tell the difference between a situation where reality is happening to you or reality is being presented to you by an evil force. You cannot tell the difference if the evil force is causing you not to. You confessed we must be agnostic about that.
Sure.
Sure. And then I said, how do you know you're not that? And you said you do.
Let's just go by your example and say that we're agnostic about it.
We must be agnostic about a thing we cannot know.
Not necessarily.
Why? Explain that to me.
Because we can feel different ways and we have different views and different criteria for something to believe it.
To believe it, but not to know it.
We don't have to know everything.
Well then, let's not say no, shall we? Let's say believe instead of no.
Let's say believe.
Cool, that's what I've been driving at this whole time. We're not going to use the word no anymore, we're going to say believe. Because we can't know anything, because you don't know you're not a brain in a jar. And every time you say you know it, you're lying, and you're misusing language. And we're not going to do that, because what we need is truth. And so we have to clean up the language, you and I, in this conversation. So we're not going to say no, unless it's about something we know, alright?
Yeah.
Cool, so do you know the Quran is true?
I believe that the Quran.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You really are keeping up with this. Why do you believe it's true?
why I believe it's true is because, first of all, seeing and reading about how it was revealed and how the people around this prophet who was revealed to felt about it and how they supported and fought for it, and how it contains information that couldn't be given to a desert in Arabia.
How much time did it take you to come to this decision? How many hours of study did you give?
I don't know that information.
Did you give the same amount of study to the other religions as well?
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, I took some time to look at other opinions and other religions as well. And,
to confirm the one that you were born into is correct?
Not to confirm.
Did you read the Book of Mormon?
Wait, you keep interrupting.
No, I'm going back to a question because I don't want to get away from it. You just told me that you spent a lot of time... Yeah, the question was, did you give equal time to the other religions? And you fucking lied to me about that shit. Did you give equal time to the other religions?
I wouldn't say equal time.
Then why did you say equal time? The question was equal time, and you gave me a sort of positive answer. Don't do that shit. Do you want truth, or do you want what you have?
Don't scream to me.
I'm going to scream. And if that's a problem for you, turn me down, you fucking crybaby. Don't tell me not to scream, because
keep on going. Hey.
I am going to keep going, because this is a conversation, and when you offend me, I will show it to you. And if that's a problem for you, stop offending me.
Keep on going with the conversation.
I am keeping going with the conversation. Do you understand that the way we are establishing the rules of this conversation? When I yell, you're not going to waste time telling me not to. Do you understand?
Don't scream on the mic.
I'm going to scream on the mic. You just did the thing I told you we're not going to do. What did you say?
Leave the call if you're going to scream.
No, I am here waiting for people to talk to me. You came here to talk to me. Don't fucking tell me to leave the call. Leave the call if you can't handle truth. You fucking coward. Now listen. I asked you if you gave the same amount of time and study to the other religions, and you said yes, didn't you?
I said I looked. The question was, did you look?
The question was, did you give equal time to the other religions? The question was, did you give equal time?
Let's rephrase the question.
Let's not answer the question I asked.
Okay.
Don't answer a rephrase question, because that's not the question I asked.
Okay, sure. So, I didn't give equal time.
Is that fair? Is that intellectually honest to choose the one that you started with to give more time than the others?
Let me finish what I have to say.
You answered my question, you finished what you had to say. All your other syllables are just there because you're feeling hurt, because I'm lecturing you. I'm giving you truth. This isn't going to be you're talking to me as much as I'm talking to you. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with your rotten brain, and I'm trying to give you the truth. Now listen to me. If you cannot tell the difference between A and B, you must be agnostic about it. Do you agree or not?
So as I was saying, I didn't give the most equal time to each and every religion. I looked into some that I was more curious of more than the others that didn't really make sense to me from the start. So I looked more into Judaism than Christianity. Something about Sikhism.
This is not an answer to any question that I asked. Are you having a hard time keeping up with this conversation?
Yeah, because you keep shouting to my ear.
Well, then turn it down so it doesn't hurt your little baby eardrums, and listen to the words that I'm saying and respond to them. I don't need a sermon about your story and what you liked. I asked you, did you give equal time to the other religions? I didn't say, tell me about your experience with other religions. When you said no, your answer was done. Do you understand? We'll be moving on to my next question after that. We're going to get to what's wrong with your brain, and if you don't want truth, then fuck off.
What's the next question?
The next question is, I asked it to you and you ignored it. Must a person confess they're agnostic when they know they cannot tell the difference between case A and case B?
I don't think it's necessarily for them to be agnostic about it, no.
Must a person confess that if there is no distinguishing feature between A and B, that they cannot know the difference?
I already answered the question.
I re-asked the question in a different way so that you'd have to understand it. Did you ignore it when I asked it again?
I'm not going to answer twice. Listen, my first answer, and keep on going to the next.
What are you agnostic about? Make a list.
What am I agnostic
Yeah,
about?
name some things. Do you understand agnosticism?
Yeah.
What are you agnostic about?
Aliens.
Continue your list.
I'm agnostic about... I don't know. Let's say aliens.
Are you agnostic about whether you're a brain in a jar?
Am I agnostic? I don't believe I'm in a brain.
I don't think that has anything to do with the question that I asked you. Belief is not Gnostic, okay? When we're talking about Gnostic, we are not talking about belief. Do you understand?
Sure.
Gnostic is knowledge. Do you know you're not a brain in a jar?
I don't know if I'm a brain in a jar.
Because you're agnostic about it?
Yeah, I'm agnostic about it.
That is how you must be about God. You cannot know God. Every time you think you do, you are breaking the rule of agnosticism. You're pretending you know something you don't. The infinite cannot fit into the finite. Your understanding of God is flawed in ways that you can never comprehend. Pretending you understand Him is to break the rule of agnosticism. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. Now let me ask you something. Can I?
As soon as you demonstrate that you understand, what I said, you can ask me a question.
Okay, what do I have to do?
Demonstrate that you understand the thing that I just said to you by restating it to me in some way.
Okay, so you said we as not infinite beings cannot understand infinite being. Is that fair?
We must confess that everything we think we know about it is claiming to know something we cannot.
Okay, now can I ask you the question?
Go for it.
Do you believe that we came to be? Do you believe that there is something that caused the universe to be created or to come to existence?
I don't think... I believe that we must be agnostic about that point. I have no belief about that.
I didn't ask you if you know or not.
The answer is no. The answer is I do not have that belief. And in fact, I think that anyone who pretends they have a belief about that is ignoring the fact that they can't know.
No, you're contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not.
Earlier you said belief and knowing is two different things.
That's correct.
I'm asking you, do you believe there is a creator? You're saying, I don't know.
I'm saying... Afterwards, yes, after I answer the question, after I'm saying I do not have that belief, and in fact, so before that was the answer, and then I added more because you're trying to lead it down a place where this is nonsense questions. What is the name of this moment? Do you have a belief about it?
I don't understand the question. What's the name
Right.
of this moment?
That's like your question. It's a nonsense question. Saying, do you believe this? I'm saying, I know that you cannot know. So any of your beliefs are definitely wrong. So I refrain having a belief about that because we can't know.
So we can't know, or we can't know that there is a something that created us?
That's correct. We cannot determine the difference between a universe where there is and there isn't.
Okay, so
we must believe that they are both true.
Okay, so as long as we have something that exists, there's no way on Earth that there wasn't something that made it happen or exist.
That is false. You don't know that that's true.
Explain to me.
Are you a brain in a jar?
Explain to me how...
I am. Answer my question. Are you a brain in a jar?
Okay, how are you going to say I'm listening and ask me a question?
I am answering your question. Now answer mine. Are you a brain in a jar?
I don't think I am a brain in a jar.
Because you can't tell the difference between an experience where you are and you aren't.
Sure, okay.
That is the exact same case for the thing that you asked. Do you believe A or B? We cannot tell the difference between A and B. We must reserve belief on that and confess that they both are true.
Confess that they both are true. What are the two options?
That you are a brain in a jar and you're not. You are in reality and you're in a virtual world. You must act as if they're both true because you can't tell the difference between them. Do you understand?
Okay, so what was going to be your criteria to know?
There isn't one, and we know there isn't one. We can prove there isn't one.
You can prove there is no God?
I can prove there isn't a criteria so that we can know between a world where there is and isn't. I can prove that we cannot tell the difference between those two universes, thus we must be agnostic. No belief is justified because we can't know.
We don't have to know.
You don't understand the thing that I just said. I'm not saying we can know if I'm not saying we have to know. I'm saying we know we can't know. We know that we cannot tell the difference between those two universes. The universe where all the shit you believe is true and all the shit you believe is a lie given to you by an evil demon. You can't tell the difference between that universe.
No one here claims that we know.
You do.
Listen, we claim that we have a clue about it.
That's correct. Everyone has a clue about it, my friend.
So we when we talk about God and His attributes, and we have no idea on how, we can't even imagine God or anything to do with it.
And yet you do, all day long. You just imagine it and you just make it up and you're like, we've got to be right about this.
No. I came to my conclusion that if there is...
I wish that you addressed the stuff that I said instead of just taking us off into... I don't want a sermon about your false religion, okay? I'm talking about this Gnosticism and agnosticism, about whether or not you can tell the difference between this universe and the made-up universe created by an evil demon. How do you tell the difference between that? What's your criterion?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, well then let's not move along to your sermonizing and testimony to me. Let's go back to the question that I was asking you. Let's pretend that there's two options, okay? Everything you believe about religion is true, or you're a brain in a jar and you've been tricked into believing that by an evil genius, okay? And there's no way to tell those differences from inside the jar. You can tell from outside because it's going to be like, oh, look at that fucking brain. But as the brain, you cannot tell the difference. Must that brain confess that it's agnostic about that point?
Must that brain... I don't think it must.
Would it be intellectually honest to confess that without the tools to tell between case A and case B, it ought to be agnostic? Don't you think it ought to be agnostic if it doesn't have the tools to tell between them?
I don't hold the opinion that we have to see, feel, or touch, or smell.
You're misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding.
Believe something.
Cool. So, what do you believe without any of those things? What do you believe without any of the things that you just said?
So I don't touch the moon. I don't smell the moon.
Okay. This is really bad. This is really where you're coming to me. Let's talk about this. Really, I'm offended by the shit you just said to me. I cannot believe you just said that stupid shit to me. You were all like, I can't smell the moon just now. Do you understand that? Listen, I'm trying to explain to you some really important things here, and you're coming at me with some very basic childish horse shit. So don't do that anymore, all right? Like, engage with the things that I'm saying, and let's go where I want to go instead of to your stupid racist myths, okay?
Racist?
Yeah, super racist. If I could prove to you that the Quran is racist, are you going to give it up? If I could prove to you that the Quran is racist, are you going to give it up? If I could prove to you, answer the question, if I could prove to you the Quran is racist, are you going to give it up?
Can I answer?
It's a yes or no, I'm waiting for it. If I could prove to you that the Quran is racist, are you going to give it up?
Why are we diverting to...
Because of how you laughed when I called it racist. That's the answer to your question, now answer mine.
Okay, you asked me a question.
Over and over.
And I asked you a question.
No. I asked you a question, you ignored it, you asked me a question, I answered it, so now you owe me one. So the question was, if I could prove to you that the Quran is racist, are you going to give it up?
Quran is racist?
If I could prove to you that the Quran is racist, are you going to give it up?
Prove to me that the
If I could
racist.
prove to you that the Quran is racist, are you going to give it up? What's so fucking hard about understanding the sentence? It's pretty easy. If I could prove to you that the Quran is racist, are you going to give it up? Do you understand the question?
Yeah, what was the verse?
Do you understand the question?
Yeah.
Okay, explain to me the question. Repeat the question back to me.
You said if you can prove to me that the Quran is racist, will you give it up? And I said, yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You believe that the Quran is not racist?
Just.
Is that right? That's what you're saying right here.
Pull up the verse. Yeah.
No. I didn't say I'm going to. I just asked you an if question, bro. So you really are telling me that that you believe the Quran is not racist? That's what you're saying right here. Am I understand the shit that you're saying right now, or am I misunderstanding you, bro?
What could be a place where a book could be racist?
Like if a book were to say this race is better than any other race, if a book were to say that, would it be racist? If a book were to say that God chose Abraham and his children over all other nations on earth, would that be racist?
No.
What? Okay. If a book said that out of 4 brothers, one and all of the children that come out of it shall be blessed, and all the others shall be cursed, and that one race will be the one and true and good race, would that be racist?
If there are 4 children and the races that come after the 3 children are good, was that your point?
I'm saying, is there anything that can make a book racist? Is there anything at all that can make a book racist, and what would that look like to you?
Something that would make a book racist is to make a nation or a color, a group of people that are from a specific place, more to give more privileges to them instead of to these other places.
And do you believe none of that happened in the Quran? You believe zero of that thing you just described in the...
Happens?
There's none of that happening in the Quran. That's what you're saying?
Allah giving...
that thing you just described. Yeah. Picking one race over the other and privileging them.
Picking. No, depends what you mean by privileging.
The thing you meant. It's what you meant. Like I'm asking you your definition, and then I'm just I don't mean anything. What do you mean by privileging a nation over another?
I didn't say privileging.
I believe you said privilege.
No.
That's why I used the word, bro, because it came out of your mouth.
No, I didn't say that.
Cool.
I said,
okay, if I can rewind this conversation and show that you said that, are you gonna give up the Quran?
I said...
If I could rewind this conversation and show you that you said that word, will you give up the Quran?
Listen.
No! You listen! Why the fuck are you asking me to listen when you ignore half of the shit I say, dude?
Who's gonna speak?
It's me! Because I am explaining to you what's wrong with the shit you believe. So, are you gonna listen? Or are you here to lecture me about your racist cult?
Let's not have a conversation about this conversation. Keep on going.
You don't want the conversation to be about the conversation? No, because it's done a lot of work here. Because you're not going to get your butt hurt when I yell anymore, right? Because we took the time?
Ask me the question. Show your proof about...
No, I'm not talking any proof. I'm not promising any proof here. You can fuck off whenever you want, dude. But we just got a confession out of you that if you see the Quran's racist, you're going to leave it. Right? You confess that here, right?
Yeah, I keep asking you.
Yeah.
Bring the verse.
No. Right.
And
I'm saying...
No. You claim...
I'm saying no, I'm not going to. By no, I mean no, I'm not going to. I'm not here to give you the evidence of your shitty fucking racist book, dude. It's your book, you go fucking read it. But I want you to double down again on the idea that if you notice any fucking racism in that piece of shit, you're gonna quit immediately. Because every time you read racism, I want you to think about me and how you fucking lied to me, you piece of shit. You love the racism in that book. That's why you read it. You would never give it up. Read the racism in it, and every time you read it, think of me. You fucking liar.
Give an example of it.
I don't have to. You're gonna read it for the rest of your life. The examples will be given to you slowly over the rest of your life as you read this racist shit that your so-called prophet wrote. Dude, I followed prophets. Yours isn't even that good, dude. He was stealing other people's shit.
Are you done now?
No, I'm not done. I'm not done until you leave with your racist shit.
You asked me, will you leave your religion, or will you not believe in it in your book? If I proved it to you, or if I showed to you that it is racist.
That's right. But I never promised you I was going to do that. I just asked you, if this happened, would you do this? I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying, for the rest of your life, you're going to read your racist book and remember that you lied to me when you said you'd leave when you noticed the racism. Every time you notice the racism in that, you're going to double down into your racist horse shit.
I've read it.
I know, and you conveniently ignored the racism. But these small kernels of racism are going to be in your sock as you're walking forward, and they're going to tear your sock to pieces. Because again you said that if there's any racism in that book, you'd fucking quit it. You said it again, didn't you?
Let me ask you my question now.
Why? I don't give a shit about any of your questions, dude.
Well, I did give a... Yeah.
Okay, bye.
I listened to...
See ya.
Wait.
Yeah, you did. Now you're done. Bye. Have fun with your racist life.
Is that how you communicate?
I did communicate to you. Did you hear the thing I communicated to you?
How you do it? Is this how you do it?
I communicate however works. That's what communication is. Do you agree?
No, this is definitely not working.
Is that right? Did you not hear the things that I was trying to say to you? Did you not hear the things that I wanted you to hear from me? Is that right?
Most of it, no, because you're trying to eat your mic.
Say again?
You're trying to eat your mic.
Dude, I'm 2 feet away from it. I literally have no idea why you would use that as some weird fucking thing to...
Well, you're lucky you're not hearing yourself.
Would you like me to turn the gain down because you're sensitive ears? Here, let me help you out, kiddo. Are you leaving yet?
No, I'm not gonna leave.
Yeah, because you know it's true. You know all this shit is true. Because you know leaving is what the loser would do. And you know you want to, and you're not going to. So what else would cause you to leave the Quran? If it told you something that was untrue, if it lied, if the Quran lied to you, would you quit? If the Quran lied to you, would you quit? If the Quran lied to you, would you quit? This is the question. The only question I want answered is, if the Quran lied to you, would you quit? If you noticed a lie in the Quran, would you quit? The only question I want answered is this one. The only question I want answered, any question that you're addressing is a question I don't want answered. The question I want answered is, if you notice a lie in the Quran, are you going to quit? If you notice a lie in the Quran, are you going to quit it? The only question that I want you to answer, the only communication I want from you, is an answer to this question. If you notice that there's a lie in the Quran, are you going to quit it? Well, that's the only communication I want from you is that. And so any talking to me is going to be ignored because you're just spreading your racist lies. Because I have a good faith question for you and I want you to answer it. And if you're not willing to answer it, you can fuck off.
I have a good question.
No, you don't. You have a childish, racist question.
No, I promise you it's not going to be racist.
I gotta go, actually. Bye.
Oh, why are you so scary?
Yeah, my life is happening. I gotta go do my grown-up things. I'm only here talking to kids for a little bit.
How old are you?
See you later, kiddo.
How old are you? Since you're going to do grown up.
I do have to go. People are going to be walking into this thing in just a second here. I think that was pretty good and effective. I